Welcome back everybody to phase 2 of the built-in nursery project. Today I'll be focusing on building all the drawers and putting on the hardware to make sure everything fits. I've already been to the store and picked up all the lumber that we're going to need for this project. Let's get started and meet me outside and we'll start working on ripping down some plywood. We got these 4x8 sheets of plywood. It's a little bit more than one person can handle by himself, but the smallest shop that I have. I don't have a big table saw area. I actually have a portable table saw where I carry back and forth. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this with the circular saw just to get the sizes where I can handle by myself. So I'm not holding a big 4x8 sheet of plywood on the table saw. Again, I'm going to set up my stop block so I can cut these as quickly as I can. The tools I'm going to be using to assemble these drawers are, I have an impact driver with the number 2 head, square head to put the pocket hole screws in. And then I'm going to be shooting brad nails in before I put the screws in, as well as gluing them in place. In this part of the process, you'll see me using my palm sander to knock down any rough edges or any splinters left by the table saw or when I was drilling the pocket holes. Quick little hit with the sander right here, and then I'll be ready to assemble. Once the boards are clear of debris, I'll glue it together and I'll shoot a couple brad nails in the lumber until it's time for final assembly when I put the Kreg screws in. I'm going to finish building all the rest of the drawers and then I'm going to fast forward until the next step. All right, the box is complete. I'm going to start putting these screws in. I like just to load up all the screws that I can at one time and then go through and just screw them in. One thing you need to watch out for is over tightening. If you over tighten it, it could split your lumber and as well come out the end. Here you'll see me drilling more pocket holes. I think I have about 500 of them that I need to complete. Here you'll see me going through the same process as before, where I'm going to do some light sanding, adding some glue, and then shooting some brad nails in. I'll start assembling all the rest of the drawers together, and then after that it's going to be time for me to put the Kreg screws in. Now here in this next part, I'm going to be putting all the drawers up that I can on my little bench there, and then I'm going to just start putting in the screws as quickly as I can. I get them all set up inside the pocket holes, and then I just screw them all in. Alright, so I'm all set up to start cutting the bottoms for these drawers. What I'm going to be using is I have a circular saw and a drywall square. So these are going to help me make my lines. What I'm not going to use any kind of guide for my circular saw, because everything I'm going to be cutting out, I'm going to be running it through the table saw afterwards. I'm just going to cut this big piece down so it's manageable pieces for me to work while I run it through the table saw. Looks like we have a nice tight fit all the way around. Okay, before I start drilling the bottom piece, I want to show you something that will be handy in the future. So I have the board lined up to the edge of the pocket hole jig. However, I'm not going to put a screw here because I need to put screws going this way as well. So in order for me to miss here, I'm going to go ahead and put everything that's on the long edge to the furthest one from the edge. So C is further away from this edge. Obviously on the other end, A will be further away from that side. And I'll show you the results of that when I'm done. You guessed it, more pocket holes. So now the part I'll be working on is I'm going to be drilling all the pocket holes for the bottoms of each drawer. So there's 9 bottoms and several more pocket holes that need to be drilled. So what I'm showing you here is that you just need to be mindful of where you're putting your holes so you don't have 2 holes that are intersecting each other. In woodworking, sometimes you got to be creative. Here you'll see me building some spacers. That way I can speed up the process when I'm putting the bottoms on the drawers. I don't have to take extra measurements. I can just use these spacers and put the bottom right on top of them. And it's going to allow me to have my 1/8 of an inch reveal all the way around the bottom of the drawer. The reason I have this reveal is in case I'm having any issues putting the face fronts on, I can go ahead and I have some place to attach my clamp. Also, you'll see me using my brad nailer once again. I'm not using any glue to put the bottoms on, and this brad nailer is just an extra precaution. All 8 of the drawers are now assembled. I'm going to go ahead and take them in the nursery I'll put them in their designated area, and at that point, I think I'm going to call it a night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, good morning, everybody. So last night when I brought all these drawers inside, I didn't stop. I just kept on going. I figured out what spacing I needed for each drawer. And so what I've done is I've made two different jigs, or not two different jigs, I made two jigs for each side of the cabinet, and I'm going to start putting the hardware on these to see exactly where they need to go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm checking to see if I'm still level, because the very first drawer that I'm going to put in, I want to make sure it's completely level, so all the other ones I stack on top of it, they're level as well. So we are good to go. To save on cost, I used 1/2-inch plywood to do these drawers, and when I bought the drawer slides, it came with 3/4-inch screws. So what I had to do is I just had to go out to the store. I just had to go to the store and get shorter screws so it wouldn't go all the way through my drawer. So what I've done is I clamped a piece of scrap plywood to the bottom of the drawer. All I have to do is put the drawer slide right up against that piece of plywood, and that's going to give me the correct distance. Now that I'm flipping it over, I just need to make sure that I'm going to put the drawer slide exactly on the opposite end. So as I do this, I'm going to go ahead and set the first drawer on the bottom over here and the first drawer on the bottom on the other side. And then I'm going to work my way up to the top. Right on. Alright, I'm going to speed things up. I'm just going to go with it. Everything worked out fine. Drawer closes. It's a soft closed drawer. And I'm just going to put these together. same exact measurement over on this side. So we did really well. Now that I have all my drawers set where they need to go, it's time to start measuring for the face fronts of each one of these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a measurement from the outside of that bracket. I'm sorry, the outside of the drawer slide. I'm gonna take that number, just 3'2" and 9/16. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut all my fronts for this side, on the other side, and one in the middle. I don't know what the width is gonna be, or not the width, but the height of each one is gonna be yet. So I'm just gonna cut the length first, and then come in here and decide on what the height is gonna be on each one. And then I'll run it through the table saw. So meet me back out in the shop, and we'll cut these to length. So my face fronts of each drawer, I went and I spent a little bit more money. I'll actually double the money to get a select pine that has no knots in it. So just so you know, this is about the only part that's going to be seen except for the face front of each of the cabinets. I cut a piece that fits from the top to the bottom of this cavity. I pulled each drawer out and I marked it on the side of this piece of plywood. That's going to tell me exactly where this drawer is at, and then I will figure out what the spacing is in between each drawer, and then that's how I'm going to determine how big the face fronts are going to be. Okay, so that scrap piece of lumber, that was the perfect thing for me to do. I was able to visualize and see how much of a gap that I needed to do. Everything worked out really well. I highly recommend that if you had odd dimensions, that you plan your drawers the same way. I'm gonna go ahead and glue them all and put brad nails in them. This has got a sticker, it's got my name on it, and it's black and yellow as well, so I'm going to leave it on in case we ever move and somebody's tearing this apart, they can see that this was mine. Phase 2 of this project is complete. All the drawers are built. All the hardware is put up. The drawers are in place. Everything is cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. I lost a little bit of footage there at the end because my phone doesn't have enough storage. However, I'm very satisfied of how everything turned out. So if you're enjoying these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button so when I'm ready to do phase 3, that you guys will be notified so you can watch it as well. And thank you for everybody that's following along with these videos. I will put a link down in the description for the phase 1 of this project, and we'll see you at phase 3.